Well, how you doing? Okay, it's going to make the screen a bit bigger. Okay, this is this video is about Globers debunking the globe again. That's the title of it. I think that's what I'm going to go with because this is a constant with them. Why can't they just do a little bit of thinking, right? But they can't because they're stuck. They're stuck in a belief. And what can you do? You can't do anything about it. Just have to leave them off. So the other day I went on to Flatside's channel and he was covering something from Wally, whereas Wally, who is from Australia. Now, whereas Wally really does believe that he's upside down from where I am. He really does believe he's on a globe. And I know he's not lying. He genuinely believes that he is upside down from me. Like this guy believes this. I know he does. He's not just going along with it. He's a believer, right? But I left a couple of comments on Flatside's video, and Wally replied once or twice, and there wasn't a whole lot of reply from anyone because I pointed out a couple of things. But I left to go, didn't really think too much about it. And then on video I made only the other day about how sunsets are not physical, and officially they're not physical, so there's no physical sun going down behind that physical horizon, that is not happening, and they even have to admit it officially. I get this comment here from Petey, and I'm like, wait, what's this about? Well, let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. Right. Right, Petey, right? And like this is on the video we made about the sunset. He said, hey Brian, was the guy filming the Falcon Heavy launch at Myrtle Beach suffering from optical effects before it finally came into view 95 seconds later? It's actually 93. Is 95 seconds the mutation time for rockets at that distance? Question mark. I think he's trying to attack my sunset video, but it don't matter anyway. He got it wrong. You have to invoke magical unknown phenomena to explain that on a flat Earth, but on a spherical Earth, it's expected. Magical unknown phenomena. We'll see about that in a minute. Are you going to skip that one? Question mark. Pretend it never happened? Question mark. Simply ignore it because it's inconvenient? Question mark. That's what Bev from Try Thinking is doing. You're in good company, right? It's like Bev. It's like Bev doesn't care about rockets. Like, I mean, I don't talk to Bev these days, right? And I don't have any communication with the man. But I know that rockets are not something he's interested in. He's not interested in propulsion systems either. Bev likes the Logos and Trivium and things like that. Doesn't care about rocket launches or Elon Musk or whatever, right? So I don't know what's this about, like. And I just gave back a reply to PT that I think I'm being a little bit overconfident, right? And I was like, okay, then if it's going to be like that, I may as well have a look at this video. And I asked Flatside to send it to me because I knew already just what the bits. I literally was shopping at the time with a shopping cart and briefly glancing at the video, on Flatside's video, and I saw straight away the problems with it. But anyway, I'll go through them. So, this is a complete debunk of rotation and Earth curvature all at once, right? So, here we have the speed, right, of the Falcon Heavy, which is 2,485 kilometers an hour, right? Its altitude is 23.2. This is after 1 minute and 34 seconds. So I'm going to work off of 93 seconds, right? And it being exactly 23 kilometers, because I'd have to just go back a small bit, but that's exactly what it is. At 93 seconds, it's 23 kilometers high, right? Right. And this is 360, it's actually over 360 miles, it's 365 plus miles away at Myrtle Beach. And it's seen here over the horizon, right? Just a couple of degrees, right? And the claim is supposed to be that somehow this debunked the Earth being flat and prove the globe. And I started laughing. When I saw it, I said, this is complete nonsense. I knew straight away how to debunk it, and I wasn't going to do anything about it, but I just said, why not? I said, why not? I'm not doing anything else tonight. I may as well just debunk it. So I'm going to debunk it. So I need to get just this a second. So here we have a calculator at 14.29 miles, right? That's what 23 kilometers is. It's 14.29 miles. 1 second now. I just want to go put that back down a sec. Back to here and just go up here and go there. So I want to get the calculator up in front of this. So 23 kilometers is 14.29. So I used 93 seconds, not 94, and 23 kilometers exactly, right? So 14.29 miles. So if I multiply this by 5,280 feet, right, which is a mile, it equals 75,451.2 feet. And if I then divide that by 93 seconds, we will get 811.303 feet a second, right? So if I then convert that length from feet to miles, we'll get 0.153 miles per second. And then if I multiply that again by 93, we will get 14.289, right? So so it is, mine was 14.29, this is 14.289, which is just 999, so it's 14.29, right? So the speed it's traveling at matches the altitude exactly, right? So it is for that rate of acceleration. Now I wanted to take in an average because I wanted it to know to say he didn't deal with acceleration because they started hassling flat side about that, even though he admitted that he wasn't taking into account acceleration in what he was talking about. The man admitted it, and they still tried to attack him on it. So I just did an average here of what of it, just to show that that rate, right, of velocity, right, matches the height, the altitude, right, over time, whatever, right. So there you are. It matches it exactly, right. So now we go to this, right. So we have Wally here, right? And he's saying what should happen is 23 kilometers, right, which is 23,000 meters, should look something like this at 600 kilometers away in Myrtle Beach. So pad 39A, where the rocket, the Falcon Heavy, whatever, took off, should be way up in the air, according to Wally from Myrtle Beach, right? And he shows this down here, right? I'm going to just, right? So according to Wally, this is what's happening. The Falcon Heavy, or whatever it is, I don't know if it's NASA or who it is, don't care, is after going straight up in the air, and you can only barely see it above the horizon from Myrtle Beach, and that means that it's a globe, right? No, Wally. So for a start, that's not how it would happen. Now, I don't know what direction it actually took. It doesn't matter too much to me. I don't know what direction it took. But whatever direction it would be taken, that is the path it would be taking, right? Because what they try and do, and I would say there was, it shows like from pad 39A to Myrtle Beach is north to south. Now, if it's flying north to south, according to official global rhetoric, north to south or south to north, then there is going to be a deviation underneath it, right? So it should be deviating, right? If it's flying north to south or south to north, it should be deviating, according to globe rhetoric. There is always a deviation north to south and south to north. They claim that there isn't one west to east and east to west. This is what they try to claim. But they can't claim that, regardless of what direction the shuttle is supposed to be taken. They can't claim that with shuttles because the whole point of the shuttle is it's supposed to be leaving the globe Earth's atmosphere. So it's supposed to be, right, taking an arced path because the globe is rotating away from it or whatever, right? And it's supposed to be, right, escaping the globe Earth's atmosphere to go off out into outer globe space, right? That's what it's supposed to do. Now, as I showed earlier, that exact 23,000 meters matches the speed exactly. So if there was if like you're flying north to south exactly, I could say fair enough up to a point, right? But it still doesn't match the globe. Like if they're going to shoot these things to supposedly leave the globe Earth's uh, atmosphere, then they try to do it against rotation often a time. Or so the whole point is that they're using it. Their claim is that they're using the globe to help the rocket escape velocity out of the globe's atmosphere. Right, that's the whole claim, right? But either way, there was absolutely no globe rotation taken into account whatsoever, right? Because even if it did fly directly north to south, let's say Myrtle Beach is south and pad whatever 39A is north of that, then there still has to be a deviation. Even if it's only a minute and a half, there has to be a deviation, right? There has to be a deviation because Myrtle Beach has to be going east, has to be heading east. So it has to. This would have to be to the west of Myrtle Beach, either way. So I can't see anything here that shows that there was any rotation or movement of any Earth whatsoever. There is no, like, it doesn't happen anyway. But the point is that there is nothing here that does anything but prove that the Earth is stationary. Like this proves the Earth, like this alone just proves it's stationary. Because if the Earth was rotating and this rocket was supposed to be escaping a globe Earth's atmosphere and escape velocity, all this other nonsense, then it wouldn't look like it did. It wouldn't be exact. The figures wouldn't match it. The rate of acceleration or the rate of velocity, whatever speed, just wouldn't match. It wouldn't match like that. It matches perfectly. The only way that could match perfectly is the only movement that's happening is the rocket above a stationary plane. That's the only way it could match. And I said plane on purpose because it is absolutely above a stationary plane, which I'll show in a second. But we'll just get back to this in a second. So here is what Wally drew, right? As opposed to what he should have drawn, which was an arc, right? This straight up thing, the rockets don't go straight up. Even even if they're on which they are on a flat plane and they're trying to pretend they're flying on a globe over a globe to leave the globe Earth's atmosphere, even pretending they have to fly at an arc. So if it was a globe, or right, they'd have to fly at an arc, right? If the story was true, which is not, they'd have to fly at an arc to escape, right, the globe Earth's atmosphere. And if the Earth is flat and stationary, which it is, they have to pretend they're doing that, so they still have to fly at an arc, right? So this straight line up nonsense that Wally did is like, what are you doing? That is not what they do. But anyway, right, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to show. So here is what Wally did, right? Let's say this is Myrtle Beach. He tried to, let's say, now this is not the scale, but the point is that as you can see, it's just over two boxes here. Just over two boxes is the height of this, right, above this here. Let's say, and that's the globe Earth here, right? He did this and tried to calculate this as some kind of how this person would only barely see it above the horizon, right? This is what he's trying to say. Let's say that's 23 kilometers and this is 600 kilometers away, or 14.29 miles, and that is 365.54 miles away, right? He tried to make it like that into some kind of a globe proof, but no, right? Because on a globe, it would have to be doing that. That's what it has to do. So for on a globe, for the rocket to get that distance, that's the exact distance is this between here and here is the same distance as between here and here. That's what it has to do on a globe. the whole point is that it's moving against the rotation or whatever, and is using the rotation to escape, escape their atmosphere, escape velocity, all that rubbish, right? It doesn't do this, right? You only do something. This kind of thing only happens on a flat plane if you want to calculate it that way. Now, even on a flat plane, they're not going to be flying, as I said, straight up. They're going to make an arc to make, if they're trying to fool people into thinking that they're on a globe and they're flying against rotation. That's the whole point of the arcs they show in the sky. It's like it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be leaving the globe Earth's atmosphere and it's flying against the rotation. It's escaping the atmosphere and it's going to escape and go off out and to do a heap of nonsense out in the middle of nowhere. But there's a problem, right? So we just come down here, right? Here we have Myrtle Beach, 600 kilometers away. And here is just there. Here we have just above the horizon here, lovely flat horizon. We have the rocket, right? And then he puts this one in as well, and he adds Bev in. Now here we are again, Bev. Like, as I said, I don't talk to Bev these days. I'm not interested in whatever Bev is doing, right? But I know for definite, Bev doesn't care about rockets, right? If there's one thing Bev doesn't care about, it's rockets. He doesn't give a damn about rockets or propulsion systems or claimed missions to Mars, right? Bev's not interested in them at all, right? So he's adding in Bev again for some God knows what crazy reason, because they have a problem with him, right? And here is a close-up or clear of the supposed rocket, whatever, 14.29 miles above, or after traveling 14.29 miles in altitude. And here it is seen from Myrtle Beach, right? So we just go back a second to this one. Now, here is the Where's Wally character, and here is, as you can see, it's just a couple of degrees above the horizon. If you come back to here, you can see it's hard to see it there because it's only I'll try and, it's only a bad photo, but you can barely see it there, right? But what it actually is, just come back to, right? It's actually that much above the horizon, right? So this is just about when it's at 14.29 miles, 23 kilometers. So just before we do that, just wanted to show something. Right. Right, where are we? Right, where are we? Oh, I don't have it there. Anyway, the exact distance is, where did I put that? Or here, is it here? Let's see, just want to make sure I have the exact. They say it's 600 kilometers, but it's actually just under 600 kilometers. And in miles, the exact distance is 365.54 miles, right? And the height is 14.29 miles, right? If we use an angle of size, right? Which obviously takes, angles. So you're talking flat plane. So you're talking a flat plane all the way between Myrtle Beach, and that person's obviously at the waterline there. So between Myrtle Beach to wherever the rocket is over, it's 14.29 miles high in the sky, and it would be at the distance of 365.54 miles, it would be 2.23 degrees. So 2.2 degrees, that's what it would be, 2.2 degrees from Myrtle Beach. If you were to use a trigonometry, then that's what you would have. So I would definitely hedge a guess that, without a doubt, that's about 2.2 degrees, right? So I don't know where they're going with this. This is pretty sad. I mean, you couldn't debunk the globe more, like, especially with Wally showing this like straight up thing here. Like you couldn't debunk it more. Like, so if it is for exactly 14.29 miles from the surface of the Earth, right? Then like, and the thing about it is, it actually may not even be, because if they're flying it in an arc, because I'm going to use the flat plane here because that's the reality. So if they're flying it in an arc, right, to get to the height of 14.29 miles, they're talking in a distance, right? It may not be it may be altitude above, I don't know. But the point is that to get to 14.29 miles, it's going to only be 2.2 degrees from Myrtle Beach as an angle. So that's 2.2 degrees. Here he is showing Bev, 2.2 degrees. Easily 2.2 degrees. Maybe even, it's definitely 2.2 degrees above the horizon now. No doubt about it. Maybe a little bit more actually. It looks like it could even be a bit more, 3 degrees, maybe 4. But it's definitely a few degrees above the horizon. So I don't know what Wally's up to, or any PT or any of these other people, but they've just completely debunked the globe. Here it is, there, a close up. I mean, if that is it at 600 kilometers away, and that is 23 kilometers high in the sky, and if it actually is just a straight line up, and it is exactly like from its sub point underneath on the earth, if that is exactly close on 600 kilometers away, and that is 23 miles or 23 kilometers high, then I mean this could easily be 4 degrees even. Do you know what I mean? If we were to add in celestial refraction, but there's no need to. It looks could even be just 2.5, something like that. Doesn't matter. The point is that globe is debunked. And just to finish off, I'm going on to this. This turned up as well. Now, I didn't listen to the video. I just pulled these slides over. I didn't listen to any of it, right? He has this 90. Where's he getting this 90 out of? With this gravitational equipotential. This is a curved surface, Wally. So where are they going off? Where are they? Like, why can't these people get this? 90 degrees requires a horizontal and a vertical straight line that are perpendicular to each other. This is not perpendicular. This is a curved line. This is not horizontal. So this is an obtuse angle here. This is an obtuse angle, not a right angle. So I don't know why he has 90 degrees in there. They're just not learning. Look, Wally's not a bad guy. He's okay, but he is a believer. Petey's not a bad guy either, but he does tend to attack without doing his homework. So they really need to have a think about this, because they've debunked rotation, right? They've debunked rotation here with this, because there should be some kind of rotation being taken into account here, and they've debunked curvature with this. This is obviously like 2.2 degrees, 3 degrees above the horizon. So I really don't know. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's like it is what it is. I mean, you can't even bring in celestial refraction into it, because it's not celestial. I don't know what to say. Like, but even though it might appear a little bit higher. It does appear to be pretty high. If that is the same, if that is the same as that, just a more clear, so that's rotation and curvature debunked all at one time. Well done, lads. I mean, how do you do it? I can't get this. I'm gonna stop the video because it's getting ridiculous. Anyway, look, thanks for watching. It's over again for the globe. Good night.